Ultratech will be in focus on buying out Century Cement, or rather demerging, having that completely restructured, Century demerging its cement business to Ultratech for an enterprise value of 8,500 crores, a little over $1 billion. Pankaj, take us through that story.
Tanveer, as you pointed out, both Ultratech and Century will be in focus today, and that will be because of the demerger of the cement business of Century, and that will be merged into Ultratech. Now, if you just look at the entire deal structure that has come in, Century will demerge its cement business, merge it into Ultratech. This will be a share swap deal in the ratio of 1:8. One share of Ultratech for about 8 shares held in Century Textile. Overall, they are paying about 8,500 crores. They get in 13 million tons of capacity. That turns out to be about $100 EV per ton. That's the sort of overall business that overall valuations that they are putting in. When you look at the context, $500 rupees a ton is what the entire EBIT of Century is, which is much lower than what Ultratech does. So there is a lot of scope of rebranding, entire logistics savings, and how they increase the utilization. For Ultratech, it seems to be a win-win deal. Valuations are decently attractive, as well as they get entry into the cement center as well as the eastern region in terms of cement business.
All right, Pankaj, thanks very much for taking us through that story as well. It'll be important. It'll keep basically Ultratech in focus in this morning's session. But on that deal closure, we have Rakesh Arora, who's MD of Go India Advisors, joining us for a quick reaction. Rakesh, how do you see this deal announcement purely from a valuation standpoint? How does the deal stack up?
See, this deal was in making for the last 15 years. And a lot of fund managers have retired hoping that this deal will come through. So it's taken a long time. Given the valuations, it's extremely attractive for Ultratech because assets have been valued just at replacement cost without giving any kind of premium for the limestone reserves that they have, etc. So it's a very good deal for Ultratech shareholders. But I think Century shareholders have been a little bit short-changed here. To give you comparison, Ultratech is paying close to 8,000 crore for buying Binani asset, which is the size of what they are buying from Century. And the deal size is hardly any different in terms of value. So clearly, Century assets are going at a very cheap price. And it remains to be seen whether they'll be able to get the shareholder approvals, etc.
Right. How do you see stocks like Ultratech and Century react to this piece of news? I think that's where one is sizing up the opportunity. There is a sense that Ultratech has got a deal at a discounted rate, which may be great for Ultratech shareholders, but not so much for Century.
Yeah, I think Ultratech should react positively to this news flow, and Century should react negatively. Clearly, because the valuations, are in favor of Ultratech. So, that's how the market should view it. But there will be a lot of questions on shareholder approval. So, probably it will be a kind of a muted performance from both the stocks, I would say.
Very quickly, what's the call on valuations within the cement space? And, if you were to benchmark where this deal got done?
See, cement is going through a cyclically low patch because there's oversupply in the system. And demand growth has been around 6% to 7%, which is lower than what we witnessed before the financial crisis of around 10% plus. And the recent uptrend that we see in cement demand is actually the data which the government sources are quoting is not correct. Most of the companies, are growing either because they've done some inorganic acquisitions. Otherwise, the base rate growth is around 6 to 7% only.
Right. And very finally, Rakesh, before we step into trade this morning, what are your top ideas from a 12-month perspective within the sector or otherwise?
See, I don't cover these stocks, on an individual basis. But generally, I can say that, cement stocks have corrected. And, there could be a little bit bounce back if pre-election spending on infrastructure picks up in a meaningful way.
Very much for joining us with that perspective.